Let's do it. This is homework number 7 for ELO 1, homework number 7. It's all about graphing lines, okay? If you're still struggling on graphing lines, that's okay, that's okay. You do need to understand it though, so you do need to work really hard to understand how to graph lines. So let's get started. First and foremost, the first question is, I don't even know why I put this here, but I just wanted to show and introduce this format for doing equations. It's called function notation. Okay, so whenever you have a function, we name it f. Okay, the function f, evaluated at x being equal to negative 5x minus 4. This isn't just one example. Okay, we could have multiple different looks to this. For example, number 2 is h of x equals negative x minus 5. So different function, different letters, different numbers. Anyways, what it wants you to do is it wants you to take these x values and wants you to put it in place of x. So right here I'd do 5, this 5, this 4, and since it wants you to do negative 4, that's what I'm going to put in place of x. So we say f of negative 4 is equal to 20 minus 4. F of negative 4 equals 16. Okay, so f of negative 4 would be right here, would be 16 is our answer. Okay, the next one would be pretty easy. Okay, next one's pretty easy because instead of negative 4 we have a 0. Okay, so these negative 4's turn to a 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So we get negative 4. For our answer. Okay, so negative 4. Okay, likewise, you'd go through, change all those to a 1, get the answer, change all those to a 4, get the answer, change all those to a 5, get the answer. And hopefully you get what I'm doing here. If you don't understand this, just email me, that's fine. But we gotta move on. Number 5. So we're gonna talk about graphing lines again, because people need help, and that's okay. So we have y equals 4 over 3x minus 1. Okay, guys, you need 2 points to graph a line. X comma y is how you find a point, and you need 2 of them. If you get 2 points, you can graph a line. Okay, so the first x value I'm going to choose right here is I'm going to replace that x with a 0. Okay, when I make that a 0, this term will go away, and I get y equals negative 1. All right? So I get negative 1 as my y value when x is 0. Okay, that's the point right here. 0, negative 1. Right there. Okay? Now I choose my next x value. My next x value, I usually like to choose a 1, but on this question that's not possible. It is possible, but it's not beneficial. You want to choose an x value that's going to be beneficial. You want to choose a smart x value. So since we have a fraction, you're going to want to choose the number that's on the bottom of the fraction. So you're going to choose 3. Reason is because if you take something and cut it up into thirds, if you eat 3 of those pieces, it goes away. And then we're left with 4 minus 1 equals 3. Okay, that's the point, 3 comma 3. Make your line. Done. Okay, so that's how you graph a line. You need 2 points to graph a line. If you know about slope and y-intercept, by all means, I don't even know why you're watching this. If you know about slope and y-intercept, you can use slope and y-intercept to graph a line. All right, number 7. Okay, number 7 is very similar to what we just did. I want to show you how easy this is. If you pick 2 points, you need 2 points to graph a line. I'm going to choose 0 and 1. I'm going to choose 0 and 1 because there's no fractions. There are no fractions. Okay, so I get y plus 0 equals 2, because I make the 0 into x becomes 0, anything times 0 is 0, and I get y equals 2. So when x is 0, y is 2. Right? Now, if the x was a 1, you do 5 times 1, you get y plus that equals 2. So you get y plus 5 equals 2, which means y is equal to -3. So I had to solve for y. Okay, plot those points. Make your line. Boom, done. Okay. Okay, now, some equations have a negative y in it, which is fine. Same rules apply. You need 2 points to graph a line, but here you need to be a little careful. So make the x a 0, make the x a 1. I do 0 minus y equals 3. Okay? Which means minus y is equal to 3. Divide by -1, and I get y equals -3. Okay? Now, I'm going to replace the x value with a 1. Okay? Subtract by 1 on both sides. I get negative y equals 2, which means y equals -2. And that's when x is 1. And there you go. Those are your 2 points. Okay. All right. Number 11. See if we need to do this one. I'm not going to do that one. I'll just get the 12. 12's more interesting. Okay, sweet. So this one right here, you're going to have 2x plus 6y equals -24. Okay, so what you're going to need to do on this one, because it wants you to find the slope and the y-intercept, is you're going to have to solve for y. You have to solve for y and get it in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, you don't have to do it this way. What you could do is you could choose 2 x values that would be beneficial, plot the line, and then go in reverse, find the y-intercept like that, find the slope like that. I recommend just solving for y. So I'd go minus 2x on both sides. You get 6y equals -24 minus 2x, and then divide by 6, which gets me y equals -4, because 24 divided by 6 is 4, and then minus 2 over 6x. Okay, 2 over 6 can be simplified to 1/3, so I get y equals -4 minus 1/3 x. Okay, right here, that's my y-intercept. Right here is my slope. Okay, -1/3 is my slope. Okay, so right here I've -1/3. And here I'd put -4. And then I would graph that line. Okay. Now number 16, real quick, just wanted to show you guys this. I'm not going to do it because it's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing as if you had y equals -4x plus 8. Okay? It's the same exact process. It wants you to graph the function. So the only difference is that we're using f of x, which is just function notation. And you can think of it as another way of writing y, or your output. Okay? The reason we use function notation is because we can actually define a specific x value that we want to talk about with function notation. Okay, so we can actually say like the function f evaluated at the number 2 is equal to 0, right? Because -4 times 2 is -8 plus 8 makes 0. So we can talk about the function more easily with function notation. If you're a math nerd like me, that is really important, because then I could say, hey, can you evaluate the function at x equals 5? And if you're talking about a real world situation, you could be talking about month 5 of your financial earnings, right? So you can actually talk about it much easier that way. Anyways, I'm not going to bore you. If you need help, email me.